questions, real estate questions, homeowners questions. I'm Susan Brewer. Let's answer a few of those for you. So thanks everybody who sent in questions for us. Let's try to give you some details. First of all, inspections. So when you're buying or selling a home, there are basic inspections that are done. One thing that typically isn't done by an inspection is an irrigation system. So if you're buying a house, it'd be a good idea to have an irrigation company take a look at it. If you're selling a home, please be aware any of the paperwork that you have related to a sprinkler system can be very helpful. Now let's backtrack a little bit. So if you are not planning to buy or sell right now, but you're planning on putting an irrigation system in, keep the map, the layout of the irrigation system. I myself, I'm going through that situation right now. It would have been helpful for me to have the drawing from the previous homeowner. So think about that. Keep your paperwork organized, even if you're not thinking about buying or selling yet today. Disclosures is another question that we hear. How much do I disclose? If you have to ask, it needs to be disclosed. As much basic information as you can fill out on the form is required by most buyers or most realtors when they're looking at houses. They want to see some of the data. Anything extra that you can add is helpful. So things that you know about your house, quirky things sometimes, it's great for a buyer to know that information as well. Now, when we get to the disclosure, there's also a line that talks about improvements. So again, if you're not thinking about buying or selling right now, keep a list of improvements of your current home. So when you're adding new light fixtures, you're adding new countertops, keep that information. It's handy if somebody has to go back and reorder something or have a warranty claim, that could be important to you, but also if you do decide to buy or sell. So improvement records, reasonable timelines, keeping track of capital improvements as well as small improvements is very important. Now, on a disclosure, how far back should you go on those things? Really, it depends. If it's something that really enhances the value of your house, it should be listed as an improvement. Another question that's always asked is the typical time from accepting a contract until closing. What should the expectations be? So, once you put your home on the market and you negotiate a sales contract, it's typically about 30 to 45 days for closing. Sometimes they're a little bit extended from that, and sometimes they may want a little bit closer closing date than that. But a good rule of thumb is about 30 to 45 days. The other question that pertains to home buying is what's the first step in order to think about purchasing a home? And step one is really to get pre-approved. So making sure that you know what your buying power is, making sure that you know your comfort level when it comes to the process of your payment versus your debt. That's something that you talk directly to a lender about. And if you haven't had experience with a lender, it's a good idea to talk to us, a professional that have seen many loans go very smoothly. And we can help you sometimes with giving you 3 or 4 names of lenders from around the area, but also think about asking family or friends. In most cases, people have relationships that they've used for years and years and years. Couple more questions. One is, if you have camera systems, audio systems, monitoring systems in your house, is that required to be told or disclosed to a potential buyer or agent who's walking through the house? And yes, it is. In our listing agreement, it does talk about the use of camera systems or audio systems in a house, and that it could violate some state laws, and that is accurate. So as a real estate professional, what we want to make sure that we do is if we do have a monitoring system that we're disclosing it in the agent remarks. so that the agents who are showing your house or that are in your house are aware. A little bit of privacy issues there if it is a video, a camera type system, and maybe you see somebody. Maybe it's a TV person or a personality, a sporting personality, and then you see them with someone else or something. It could get really sticky. So even if you do have a video or audio monitoring system as a seller, it's really important that what you see or hear is kept confidential. I mean, if you're looking at it, that's one thing, but if you're broadcasting to TMZ who you saw in your house, it's probably not a good idea. You could be violating some information. And last but not least, this question I'm asked daily. Is it better to go ahead and add fresh paint color, fresh carpeting, updated flooring, maybe even new vanities, new light fixtures, or give the buyer a credit? It's always better to do the work. The question comes is, am I doing the right work? Am I picking the right selections? And that's where we want to get professionals in there to help you through the process. So if you love the color of purple and you want to paint all your walls purple, it's probably not a good idea if you're thinking about selling a house. We want to keep it as neutral and that it appeals to the most buyers possible. So we've gone through a handful of questions that hopefully can help you, whether you're a buyer or a seller or just a homeowner, on being prepared for the day that you possibly think about buying or selling. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us direct. Again, thanks